PSA, I love it. I love this more.
Oh, yeah?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for putting up with the PSA. I wanted to tell you just one thing about that before we get into all this. Child Help came to me. It's a charity that my wife and I have been involved with for over 5 years. It's about stopping childhood abuse. 4 kids die every day in the United States from child abuse and neglect. They asked me to do this PSA, and I said, I love that shirt. Can you stand up for a second? I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt my own interrupting everything else. That's a funny-looking guy in that shirt.
He's representing.
I love that. Thank you. I used to have one of those. Anyhow, child abuse, they came to me, Child Help said, we'd love you to do a PSA for Child Help as Johnny Rico. And I said, guys, look, I can't do that. It's a rated R film, and this is for, you're asking me to do something for kids. And they said, no offense, Casper, but what happens to these kids is worse than rated R. What we really want to do, and I said, oh, I still appreciate that, but still, it's something I feel a little uncomfortable, because, for me to go, kill them all, and, kill child abusers, or whatever it is, didn't feel right. So I was trying to do it as calm as I could, and they said, well, Casper, this is the other thing. We know that the sci-fi and horror film fans are the most dedicated, the most loyal, and the most fanatical, and we'd love to get them on board, help them fight child abuse. And so I said yes, and I did it, and the online donations for Child Help has gone up. What was it? Derek, you still here?
Gone up about 20%.
20% for the year. So thank you all, and I thank them. I didn't believe it at first. I sat there and I go, come on, this is not going to get accepted, but they really did it, and more or less when these people ask me to do something for the kids, I always have to say yes. So thank you all, and I appreciate you putting up with it. I just wanted to let you know. It's something else. I got Sony to do too. I had to go through legals with them. It was a nightmare, but they really stepped up too.
They signed off on the Johnny Rico thing.
They signed off on the Johnny Rico, the uniforms. I got the guys to do that was Robert Skotek, who won Academy Awards for Aliens, T2, and Abyss. He won the Academy Awards for all those films for special effects. He also did it for Starship Troopers 3. He did it for free. Sony donated the time, and the uniforms and everything for free, and another guy, Kevin Van Hook, who's a comic book guy and a horror film. He's done a couple horror films that I've done, Fallen Ones and Slayer. He did all the editing and sound for it. I mean, it was just nice. A lot of people came through, and I appreciate you putting up with it. So we'll get back to the movie now.
It's great to leverage Starship Troopers for a good cause.
Yeah, I couldn't believe
It's
it.
not just brain-sucking.
And killing bugs.
And banging DMI.
And yes. Oh yeah. Somebody's got to do it.
Was it a rough shoot? It looked like a rough shoot. I mean, physical. It
was physical. I chipped 2 teeth, cracked 3 ribs, and got bruised and cut up, and had the best time of my life. It was just a lot of fun.
Working with Paul Verhoeven must have been interesting. He had just come off of Showgirls,
Yes,
which was not a success for Paul.
It's another horror film.
That's right. So he comes back to what he does well, which is
Kill them all, shoot them up.
Crazy science fiction, right? Yeah. What was he like on the set?
Okay. I haven't done this in quite a few years, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. Paul Verhoeven was like this. When I was shooting bugs, I didn't have the benefit of a green screen, so I had this. Bugs! Kill the bugs! Kill the bugs! Let me get that again, Paul. This is what you do, okay? Kill them all! Bugs! Kill! Ah! I got it, I think. Can you do it one more time? The bugs! The bugs! Ah! That's Paul Verhoeven. I kid you not.
That should be a Saturday Night Live skit. That's hilarious, man.
But no, he got up there. We'd have like, they'd show us where to aim the guns. We'd all aim the guns because it would be at nothing. So we'd be shooting air, and there'd be nothing there. It's like working with a lot of actresses in Hollywood. I haven't used this material in years.
It's all right. Forgiving crowd.
No, but it was just a lot of fun. We just had to do that, and Paul would literally get up there, and by the end of it, we all wanted to shoot him. So it worked nice.
Was it weird having a guy with a kind of quasi-German accent? He's Dutch.
It's Dutch, not really
but it's
German.
sort of sounds German.
Joost Vacano had the German accent.
No, I get you, but then he's yelling this stuff at you. He sounds like, you know, like a Nazi.
Nazi.
And then you guys dressed like Nazis. You got Doogie Howser dressed like a Nazi. What was that like? Were you kind of like, what the hell, like Twilight Zone door did I just walk through here?
I thought it was hysterical. I mean, he'd walk on set and I would go. That was funny. I mean, Neil in that suit, he looked great, didn't he? That was cool.
Absolutely looked great. And a young Amy Smart.
Amy Smart is her first role. She was really cute.
She was one of the pilots there.
She was supposed to be the bald cadet.
Did she have a disease or?
No, they were gonna shave. A lot of the girls were gonna have no hair.
Oh, like Sigourney Weaver in Alien 3.
Yeah, like that. But the girls all were like, no. And they couldn't get around it.
You know, this movie is such a great action movie, and you know, I'm sure a huge proportion of the audience just went in and enjoyed the pyrotechnics. But at the same time, it's satirical. Did you get a sense of that on the set, or did you know what he was doing?
Oh yeah, sometimes I would go, oh come on, Paul, and he would go, just do it! Do it just like that! Just do it, that's great, great! The little Nazi came out, and not a Nazi, he's somebody who's very passionate, and we had people that blamed, saying this was a pro-war film, or a pro-fascist film, and I just went, did you really watch the movie?
He's kind of making fun of that, isn't he?
I would think, his family fought against the Nazis during World War II. He was part of the Dutch resistance, his family was. So he has he had strong personal feelings towards it, just FYI.
And not to get too deep with Starship Troopers, but he is kind of imagining sort of a nightmarish future, American future, where they play football in Argentina.
And we're all, squeaky clean,
right,
and then all hell breaks loose. I think he wanted to go for more like that. I think he wanted to have his utopian society, or I think people called it 90210 in space. That was funny. And then they called it like Ken Doll in space. Like I never heard that before. Yeah, I never heard that before.
You could do worse, man.
Yeah. Well, in military school it wasn't cool.
Oh no.
I went to an all-guy military school. Not a fun thing.
You come from your family has a strong military background. Your grandfather's a pilot.
My dad was a pilot.
Your dad was
my grandfather was a Marine, World War I.
So it was kind of naturally for you to step into this role?
I loved being able to step into this role. I felt like I was getting to play and pay tribute to my family and to the servicemen and now women of America.
And the special effects are fantastic.
Phil Tippett did an amazing job, and I mean all of them did. Everybody did. It was an amazing. I mean, I think just seeing it on the big screen, it really held up nice.
It does.
This is '97. I mean, I filmed this in '96. My daughter's, it's her birthday today. She's 13. Thank you. She was born during Starship Troopers. When I was in the water tank in there, that would be yesterday, so it was the 14th. And then they let me out, so I felt like I was in utero. I felt like I was in there at the same time she was. And then the next day they let me out so she could be born. She was going to be born whether I was out or not. But they let me go, and then the next day I was back in the water tank, so 2 days in. But it's kind of fun. It was interesting to see where everything was, and just remember, I haven't seen the film in a while, remembering where we shot and who was in it, and just laughing at some of the scenes.
And the movie kind of launched some interesting careers. You've got Neil Patrick Harris, of course he done the TV show before that, but then Denise Richards, who kind of looks like a special effect herself in this movie. She's perfect looking.
Oh, okay.
That's what I meant.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought you meant. Yeah, everybody with me on that one? Okay, he's being nice.
I think maybe we should open up the floor to questions.
Oh, that's a good question.
All right,
who
has questions for Casper?
Okay, that's easy. Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Don't trip over yourselves right here, Joe.
Starship Troopers 2, dude. Starship Troopers 2. What did you think about that?
They didn't want me.
You weren't in it, dude. You weren't in it, that sucked.
Thank you, I appreciate it. That's what I said to them. That's why it sucked. Oh, thank you. wait, I don't know if it'll go. Go ahead, you can say it.
Marauders was the shit. Yeah.
Some people agree, some people say Marauders is shit, but some people say Marauders is shit. You said it is. Yes, okay.
Casper, you go ahead and say it. I'll run around with the microphone. Who else has a question for Casper? All right, let me run up here.
You're going to have to run all over.
Do it Donahue style. Yes, sir.
Who's a better kisser?
Who's a better kisser, Dina or Denise? Or the bug?
Those bugs, I gotta tell you, pretty darn hot.
Wet.
The answer is my wife. Who said that? I married her. I had kids with her. Yeah, Dern's, I can't remember which one.
Busey.
Gary Busey was much better. Yeah, Michael Ironside. I didn't kiss any of them. You know, Denise and Dina, lovely kissers.
There you go, lovely kissers. Right here, lady.
Speaking of your wife, how did you meet her, and what was it like filming a reality TV series?
Wow. Okay. I met her in Montreal, and on a film set, and I saw her, and I walked up to her and I said, "Hi, welcome to the set. I'm Casper Van Dien, and are you married?" And she said, "No." And I said, "You engaged?" And she said, "No." And I said, "Oh, it's one of those." She was wearing a diamond. I said, "Oh, it's one of those FU rings. My sister wears one of those to keep the guys off too." That's how I met her. And then we did a reality show because I said, "I'm an actor, not a reality guy. I will never do one." My wife's like, "No, that'd be a good idea." And I said, "No, I put my foot down. I'm never going to do it." And so we ended up doing it because I put my foot down.
It always ends up that way, isn't it?
Yeah, but it was actually fun for me. I actually enjoyed it. I had some great home video of the kids, and I was wrong. She was right.
It was a good experience.
Yeah, actually, because they had to film me on two sets, and so going there and back, I actually felt like I had a new freedom on camera for me as an actor, which I had a prejudice against before. I was like, "Oh, that reality's all bullshit," and all that other stuff, and a lot of it is, but the fact that I didn't have a chance to like get into a character, I had to just be me. And so I couldn't pretend, so they saw when I was an asshole, when I was a nice guy, when excuse my French, because I know there's a kid here. But what are you doing bringing a kid to a movie like this? Mine have all seen it too, except for the two little ones. So yeah, I guess it was fun, but it was fun to do only 13 episodes and no more. And I look at all those other reality shows, and nothing seems to work for any of those people, so I'm glad we ended with 13.
John and Kate plus 8 not working out so well in
No.
that family.
No.
Who else has a question for Mr. Van Dien?
Sorry to make you run.
No, I can hear you.
Okay, can you tell us about like the casting process of Starship Troopers and getting into it? Like, how did that whole thing go for you?
Sure,
And
not a problem. I got the call, as everybody in Hollywood did. The studio wanted a big name. I think they at the time they were even recording Mark Wahlberg, who wasn't quite a big name yet. They were trying to do that. Paul Verhoeven auditioned me. I came in and I walked in the office. There was all these guys sitting down over here, and their offices were all over there. There was Ed Neumeyer's, Alan Marshall's, Paul Verhoeven's, and the other people here. And I walked in, and Ed Neumeyer came out, and he said, "Come here." So I got up, went in, and there was a rifle there, and I said, "Hey, can I see that rifle?" And I picked it up, did a couple of military drills with it, because I was on the drill team. And he goes, "I got this nice rifle." Put it back down, and he just like looked at me. He says he knew it was then that I was right for Johnny Rico. But then I went back out and sat out, and then about 5 minutes later, Paul Verhoeven came out, and he came out of his office, and he looked at me, and he went. So and then he goes like this, and stop, takes his ball, puts it down, and kicks it at me, and I stopped it. I'm looking around, there's all these other actors behind me, and I kicked it back at him. And he kicked it back at me, and we started kicking at each other. And then Alan Marshall came out, and I kicked the ball so hard, it went right by his face and put a dent in the file cabinet. And he just shook his head and went back in. And then Paul's like, "Great, keep going!" That's my first time meeting him. felt pretty good. Felt pretty bad for the other guys. And then I had like 7 more auditions.